That's a very insightful question, I would say. Uh, my own experiences. Like when I started teaching, I had an interaction with a lot of people. And when I was talking to them, I discovered that if I'll teach them speaking directly, then what will happen that, like if you invert a pot of water and then you pour as much as water you want to on that pot, it won't get collected in the pot because the pot is inverted.
Yes.
Similarly, when you're teaching advanced skills to a student whose basic skills are very less, then he may not understand what you're teaching. And even if he learns, he'll forget those things.
Sir, I want to ask another question. Very important question is that everyone says that we want to crack the interview. Cracking the interview in the examination, in the interview room, when there is no one. There are 4 or 5 people, and the 4 or 5 people's eyes are just focused on us like a glue. And we have to focus we have to just bear the eyes of those, as well as we have to understand the nature of the questions, and we have to answer as well. Now, what should be the best technique to prepare an interview, and how one can just master it? Not only the questions and answers, but the physical, you can say the body language and the communication skills as well.
Yes. So I would give you two methods over here in a conversation that we are having right now. I'll give you two techniques for your audience and for my audience as well. First is whenever we are going for a job interview, what happens is there happens two things. Either we communicate too much or we speak very less. Either of the
Yes.
case.
Okay. So, very good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon,
Uh,
ma'am.
and I am privileged and I am highly honored to have you on my channel, because you are a life coach, and you are English trainer as well. And how you train the people, you have a unique trick to train the people. We will proceed further, and then we will crack out how you treat and how you just train the people, because training the people is an art, and how you are handling that art, it is quite unique and it is quite wonderful, and I am quite obsessed with the way you are treating, and you are just exploring different ways to embark and to just train the trainers and learners as well, I would say. But before proceeding, before going deep into the conversation, I would like to have the ritual of your introduction. So please introduce yourself.
Yes. First of all, thank you. And pleasure is also mine. And I'm really grateful that you observed few things about me and my channel, and then you are saying it out loud. So that's a beautiful thing to feel. My name is Nikhil Gupta, and my channel name is Nikhil Gupta English Sir. I am an English coach and a communication skills coach. So I have around 16 to 17 years of experience, and I've taught around 10,000 plus students. I've had a privilege and honor of being able to teach so many students. In English, I teach reading, writing, understanding, and speaking. These four skills I teach. Usually, what we see that the teachers who teach English are only masters of English speaking.
Yes, sir.
But I have had the fortune and honor of being able to teach these four skills: reading, understanding, writing, and speaking. And also in communication skills, I teach uh, public speaking, interpersonal interaction, group discussions, and job interview skills. So, four
Remarkable.
skills in communication, four skills in speaking.
Cool, remarkable, remarkable. And the most striking quality is the understanding, because everyone discusses reading, listening, writing, and speaking. No one is there that we are just making the students and the learners to understand, because understanding is
Right.
the key point. When we understand,
True.
we can speak. When we understand, we can think. Understanding is
Exactly.
missing. And the as far as communication skills are regarded, and intrapersonal, and when we are interacting, when we are communicating with the other person, how we should interact, how, what kind of arguments we should have, and what kind of questions we should ask. This is the remarkable quality, and I would ask you plethora of questions, so may I ask with your due permission?
Honored, honored. Please go ahead.
Okay, could I introduce myself a little bit to
Yes,
your
of course.
audience?
Please go ahead.
Yes, yes. My
Yes.
name is Gulnaz Aslam. I am from Punjab, Pakistan. I have done my master's in English as well as master's in history. I am a gold medalist in history. And throughout my college career, I have been the topper and scholarship holder. I have been the writer and editor of college magazine number. And I have won two competitions, two essay writing competitions, you can say. First at divisional level, for which I was given certificate and cash prize by the Minister of Jail at that moment. And then I was promoted to take part at the provincial level, Punjab provincial level competition. Then I again secured certificate and cash prize and a 2 day stay at Carlton Tower Hotel hosted by the government of Punjab, and a historical visit was given to me, government of Punjab. And if we talk about my practical career was started 15 years ago, you can say, when I started delivering coaches to master's classes in language and linguistics at New England College. After getting married, I am settled in Toba teaching, and where I started teaching at Bahia Foundation College as head of department in English and history. Currently, I have joined Convent Institute, and I am also running my YouTube channel where I am uploading solo videos for quite some long time since 2021. And recently, I have just out of curiosity, out of inquisitivity, you can say, ventured this journey of conversational videos in order to interact, in order to have conversational type of videos. So I am a mother of 4 kids, 3 sons and 1 daughter. So that is pretty much about me.
Those are quite some credentials and very impressive.
Thank you so much, sir, for this beautiful compliment, I would say, because having a compliment from a teacher means a big thing. You can receive compliment from the learners, from your students, but when you receive a compliment from a teacher, it means that you are achieving something great, or you have done something. Okay, thank you so much. And my first question, that everyone treats reading,
Right.
listening, and speaking, and writing also,
Right.
sometimes writing also. But no
Right.
one discusses that we are training to make learners understand, because understanding is the key. If we don't understand, we can't
Right.
listen. If we don't understand, how can we
Right.
speak? If we can't understand, how
Right.
can we think and give argument in a logical, convincing way? So that is the most striking quality of yours. And how did you get this idea that I have to, I had to make the learners understand first? So give your thoughts about this concept.
That's a very insightful question, I would say. Uh, my own experiences. Like when I started teaching, I had an interaction with a lot of people. And when I was talking to them, I discovered that if I teach them speaking directly, then what will happen that, like if you invert a pot of water and then you pour as much as water you want to on that pot, it won't get collected in the pot because the pot is inverted.
Yes.
Similarly, when you're teaching advanced skills to a student whose basic skills are very less, then he may not understand what you're teaching. And even if he learns, he'll forget those things. So that was my discovery. I discovered those things through my experience only. And then I started figuring out ways of how to do that because nobody was doing it. So I had to do trial and error, and I figured out things on my own. That
Okay.
was the way I did it.
Yes, trial and error, very good experience, because when there is no one to teach you how to handle a thing, and you are doing it by trial and error, then you explore some wonderful tips and tricks and some discoveries, I can say that. So what was the specific way, or what was the specific trick which you discovered over the period of time through your experience? Because experience is the best teacher in this life. No one can teach you, no lesson, no book, nothing can teach you, but experience is there. Who can teach you? Who can teach you the best lesson which you cannot forget forever? This is the reality of life. So
Right.
I am very inquisitive, and I want to know that which tip or which discovery you made over the period of time which was very beneficial, that you have taught or you have trained over 10,000 students and learners. So
Yes.
I want to know.
Yes. That's a very insightful question as well as great follow-up question as well. So what I did is that when I started teaching English, I discovered there are 4 ways of teaching English. 4 methods actually. First is discovery-based learning. Don't teach them, help them discover. That is what I have experienced and I have gained in, after my experience of so many years. Just help them discover. That is one thing. Second is associative learning. Now, what does associative learning mean? Like you have to link what they already know with what they don't.
Yes.
When you link something that they already know with what they don't, then there's an association that happens in their minds. And then they are not able to forget that, what they've learned. So first is discovery based learning, third is associative, second is associative learning, and third is interactive learning. Learning through interaction, learning through speaking. So these are the three primary skills that I focus on and methods that I focus on. Uh, Also, I make them talk. I listen to them. Because what happens is that when we listen to them, now we get a lot of clues through students. So these are the two methods that I follow.
Yes. Very impressive method you have discussed, because when we give all the things that these are your notes, and these are the things you have to cram, they can cram. But if you will say that this is the question, you have to discover the answer by yourself. And in that
Right.
phase of discovery, what the student does, he discovers more things than we have
Right.
expected, and they retain in the mind of the student, and he is more inquisitive. The chances are very clear that he becomes more inquisitive, he becomes more interested in the way of learning. So second thing is association. Association is very important. I would say that when we associate our experience with the past childhood experience, or with any object, or with anything which we have learned before, if we associate, because our brain is wired in such a way that when we associate things, it retains things for a longer period of time. So
Right.
important. And the third one is more important, when which we all ignore as human beings. We do not want to listen. We want to speak.
Right.
We want other
Right.
people that we should be listened, but we do
Right.
not expect that we should be the listener. We always want that we should be the speaker and speak always. There should be someone who listens always us. But through listening, through interaction, what happens that we come to know the strengths and the weaknesses of the others. And through that listening, it becomes crystal clear that on which areas we have to work, and on which areas there is already strength. And the
Right.
number fourth, which you have discussed, is talk, or you can say the speaking. Speaking is the most important part, which is being neglected in the educational and all the arenas of life. So four
Right.
remarkable ways. And I personally believe that if every teacher, every trainer follows these four skills are compulsory and mandatory, he can just have, you can say, the get the most of the benefits out of this their learning. Because we all focus that you have to speak. Speaking is very compulsory. You have to read. But what about understanding? Have we ever asked about the student? Have you understood what you have read?
Yes. 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 To make to understand that if they have understood or not, you have to make them rephrase in their own language. What have you understood out of this? Like whatever I said, you rephrased in your own way, and then I understood that you whatever I am talking, you understood that. So in the similar fashion, I make students I ask questions to them, and I make them rephrase in their own way, not in the way I said it.
Yes.
So if they're able to say it rightly, then they've understood.
Yes. Quite amazing technique. Rephrasing, we have always been following. And if the rephrasing is in the net in English,
Hmm.
for example, if we have talked about a topic, for example, we are talking about the techniques and the tips and the tricks, how to understand and how to speak English well. And if we say that narrate all these things in your own words, we do not expect that you should use the fancy, the high advanced words. No, we want to
Right.
check how much you have understood and how you can make us convinced about your point. Because
Right.
everyone can speak, everyone can
Hmm.
utilize the words, but how you can make the other person listen more and more
Right.
in a convincible manner, that the listener just want to listen us in a more convincing way. Then this is the most important thing. Now, uh, sir, I want to ask another question. Very important question is that everyone says that we want to crack the interview. Cracking the interview in the examination, in the interview room, when there is no one. There are 4 or 5 people, and the 4 or 5 people's eyes are just focused on us like a glue. And we have
Hmm.
to focus we have to just bear the eyes of those, as well as we have to understand the nature of the questions, and we have to answer as well. Now,
Hmm.
what should be the best technique to prepare an interview, and how one can just master it? Not only the questions and answers, but the physical, you can say the body language and the communication skills as well.
Yes. So I would give you two methods over here in a conversation that we are having right now. I'll give you two techniques for your audience and for my audience as well. First is whenever we are going for a job interview, what happens is there happens two things. Either we communicate too much or we speak very less. Either of the cases we make blunder.
Yes, sir.
So what is the key? You have to follow a formula so that you don't end up speaking more and you don't end up speaking less. So if you follow this formula, then you'll be able to speak exactly how much it is required of you. So that formula is STAR formula. STAR. S means situation, T means task, A means action, and R means result. Like if the interviewer asking you, explain your experience, your previous job experience, or any situation he's asking you to express, then you have to use that STAR formula. First, you have to explain the situation that you were in. Then you have to tell what tasks you did in that situation. Then what action you took to get that task done. And finally, what was the result? So situation, understanding what was the situation, the task that you did, the action that you did, or the action that you took to accomplish that task, and the result that you got. So this is one key formula if you are
Yes.
going for a job interview.
Yes, and it is very remarkable because it sounds logical,
Right,
argumentative, and
right,
it is not that we are beating about the bush. We are exactly on the point. We are very
right,
relevant, and in this case, we will give them the sound answer as well. So,
right.
in when we are in having a conversation, group conversation, what should be the criteria of a learner to sound more impressive? Because, sir, sometimes we feel that a person doesn't even utter a word, even utter a word
Hmm,
out of his mouth. He just enters the
hmm,
room and he conquers the
hmm.
room. How it
Right.
is possible?
There's this energy, it's a spiritual energy that a person has primarily that comes from confidence. You don't need to show confidence. Confidence exudes of you. Either you're confident or you're not. And
Yes.
that exudes, that comes out, that shows. You don't have to try it. So some people are gifted with that confidence and that charisma. If you want to be that person, you need to learn certain body language skills. Now I'll mention 2 to 3 body language skills that are very important to master those skills. Maybe I won't be able to teach that charisma because charisma is something that you can't learn.
Yes.
But there are few skills that you do with your body language that can help you be impressive. First thing is hand gestures. Like right now, I'm using hand gestures, and that is very unintentional.
Yes.
It's pretty unconscious. When you use hand gestures, now 2 things happen. First of all, the person that is listening to you, his complete attention is on you when you use hand gestures. Secondly, you feel the confidence.
Yes. Very
That is the thing.
important point.
Second is eye contact. Now, eye contact is something that is very tricky. You can't have an eye contact for a longer period of time because it may make some people awkward.
Yes, sir.
I guess this should not be the time that I should explain it because if I explain these things now, then it would go from the top of their heads. So I guess this we should keep for the next conversation, if
Yes,
I
sir.
may. And the things that person should remember is star theory and the body language hand gesture part that I shared with you.
Yes. Very remarkable
What do you?
quality, and yes, very remarkable quality. And star is just the abbreviation of the whole gist, because we don't
Right.
have to deep dive and say that this should be the question, this should be the answer. No, all those things are you can say combined together in just one combination, I would say, star combination. So follow this star combination, execute your theory, and then see the results. This is the best way. And the second thing is that communication or the non-verbal communication is the key to master anything. And the first thing
Right.
is that when you work upon your personality, I
Hmm.
believe, because
Hmm.
my Sir Amar bin Adal is always my role model. Why? Because when he used to speak, because
Hmm.
we were the students of literature at that moment, and when he used to speak, we used to listen, even the rhythmic sound of the birds. How can a student listen? The leaves,
Right.
the sound of the leaves in the autumn
Hmm.
season. How
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
one of
Hmm.
feel that flowing river in the water,
Hmm.
flowing water in the river or in the canal and stream? And we used to listen, but it was not there because of his
Right.
communication skills. So the first and the foremost skill is that we should have to thoroughly absorb ourselves in that
Right.
content. Because when we just convey the message superficially, then the other listener feel must
Hmm.
feel that we are not into the conversation. We are just having conversation for the sake of conversation. If we are teaching for the sake of teaching. But if we are
Right.
truly imbibed in that conversation, other person gets this realization that we are truly in that conversation and the other person must listen. This is my
Right.
perception. And eye contact is compulsory. Though I feel in my conversations, I just observe the and feel the other person, and my eyesight is there, some other person. Because there is some mistake or technical error in the camera, and I am not a tech savvy person. That's the problem. But no worries at all. And it
Very much
was,
agreed. Very.
yes. And and any other question you want to ask? Because
I would like to ask you, like,
you are a trainer, and I would like to answer if I am capable here. So I would
oh, no,
answer
no.
otherwise.
Of course, you are having such a channel on YouTube and you have so many followers and a lot of people are listening to you. So of course, you know a lot of things. I would love to know that what inspired you to get into this field, because not everybody does it. It requires a lot of confidence. You need to get out of that zone of consciousness. You don't have to be conscious about yourself too much. So what inspired you to do this? Get out of the comfort zone.
Out of comfort zone. Uh, you can say that it was inculcated by me since my childhood, because I used to love to be off the track all the time.
Hmm.
Off the track means I wanted to be in flying colors with as far as my result was concerned. So I used to experiment a lot of things. So you can say that starting the YouTube journey is another exposure to go off the track and to explore different things. So that was, you can say, was the thing which made me initiated this journey.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, sir. So it was a wonderful conversation. I learned a lot from you, and I wanted to have a specific conversation based on some specific topic so that we can explore much more. Because you are not only an English trainer, you are a communication coach as well, and we have to explore different dimensions. So it went very well, and I enjoyed a lot. And apart from enjoying, I learned a lot. And one thing I just remembered about your channel. May I ask one more question? Okay,
Yes,
one
please.
more thing. Yes, one more thing that was very striking, that you have combined in your channel not only the celebrities but the political figures are also there. And the way
Right.
you the way you just narrate the things make us compel, because it shows the wittiness. Wit
Right.
Wit means something who is observing, and who is observing the society in the deep down level. Everyone is teaching, but teaching is not something there. Apart
Right.
from teaching, there is some deep knowledge, some deep understanding, experience, and then how you extract the communication skills and the English and the requirement of English, how English is important in different perspectives through different personalities. Everyone loves to have the celebrities, like there are so many celebrities who speak very well, we know. Everyone loves to follow social trends, but how to follow a political figure? But I don't say that you are an ardent lover of a political figure, but I want to say that there would be or there can be any political figure, but out of that political figure you extract some basic points which made that figure a very rising or very you can say admirable personality in the society. So how would you strike that idea, and how are you executing, how are you experiencing your society or all the society?
First of all, I would like to give this, like this is a disclaimer before saying it, that I am personally fan of few people. I like them a lot because of their communication skills. I in no way have any political uh, ideologies which are very much congruent to theirs. I like them for their communication. So first is Indian PM Narendra Modi. I like him for his communication a lot. Whatever identity he has politically, that could be different. But communication wise, I'm a huge admirer of him. Then Shah Rukh Khan. I love his communication a lot because he's an excellent communicator. So when I was listening to them as a child, I thought that I guess these people have a lot to give in terms of communication and language abilities. So I could observe those things, but not many of my friends could observe that. So I thought that whenever I would grow up, somehow I would send this message to people or pass this message to people. And with the grace of God, your social media came, YouTube came, and I'm able to do this right now.
Yes,
What dream I had as a child.
yes, sir, and it is very rational approach that you have inculcated since your childhood. Because when we are just kids, if a person has the ability to inculcate this habit, it is a very remarkable quality. And out of nothing, you produce that these are 3 points, these are 4 points, and you have to start with this way. Like communication, you have to just uh, give back, or you just have to go back to the scenario, and you have to make the audience remember that this is the point. These were my services I have provided, and then you. It means that you just create the scenario. You just fabricate the story first, because a good communicator, according to me, fabricates the story. He doesn't abruptly
Right.
say that this is the point, I want to narrate it. No. He executes the story. This is the story, and I want to tell this story. And then the audience get the interest. Then he narrates all his logical points.
Beautifully put.
Yes. So it was a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, sir. And hope we would have many more conversations on the variety of topics. And I have the
Right.
honor to have you as my guest. Thank you so much.
Same, same. Thank you so much.
Have a nice day, sir.